Hi, Penny. Today I'm going to be presenting on the production longevity of Mean Girls, the musical on Broadway. So, after doing initial research on the production um, while we were looking at the box office numbers and then looking later at the agreements with different unions, I've been looking at the show for a couple weeks now and developing a pretty good knowledge of the show's components and what makes the show successful and why it's run for so long. If you see on this slide that the show opened on April 8th, 2018, so it's been open for almost 2 years, and the US national tour began on September 21st, 2019. And on January 23rd, the production officially recouped on its initial capitalization. And the movie musical adaptation is announced to start production in early 2021. So the show has been incredibly successful, continues to be incredibly successful. And I think a large part of that is the advertising and marketing strategies. It's already based on a very popular film. So the 2004 film written by Tina Fey um, draws a huge crowd, and the fact that she and her husband Jeff Richman were both involved in the musical adaptation of it also has a contributing factor to why the show continues to be so popular and so successful. And I think it also stands to reason that a play concerning the experiences of contemporary American teenagers lends itself well to a really robust social media presence. So if you look on TikTok or Instagram or Twitter, which are all really popular with like people my age and younger, who I would say are the target audiences of the show, even people older than that who remember the movie from 2004 when it came out. But they would all be like looking at Instagram and Twitter for daily interactions with cast members from the show, different marketing strategies the show is using to draw the crowd. I think Mean Girls is an easier show to market in that way because like internet culture and social media lend itself really well to the kind of draws that the marketing team have been employing. Like they'll use memes and like popular social media challenges. Like they'll involve their cast in that and like use it in the context of their show to keep it really modern, to keep it really contemporary, and to keep the language surrounding the show really fresh. Even though it's been out for 2 years, like everything still feels very current and up to date in its social media outreach. And the casting has gotten particularly interesting because the original cast members have finally left the show after 2 years, like the principal cast members. So Erica Henningsen, who played the main character Katie, Barrett Wilberweed, Gray Henson, and Kate Rockwell, who played three of the other principals, all left the cast within the last month and a half. And they've been replaced by Sabrina Carpenter, Chad Burris, and Olivia Kaufman, and Laura Lee Turner. A couple of those people are Broadway stars. Chad Burris just finished a starring role in Frozen on Broadway. Olivia Kaufman was promoted from within the production already. She was serving as an understudy for different characters in the production, and she was in the ensemble, so she's just been promoted from within the production itself to play a principal role. And Sabrina Carpenter is a famous actress primarily in television. She would be popular around audience members my age because she was on Disney Channel shows that were on while we were growing up. She was also on Law and Order SVU. She has been in several films, but she is a really intelligent casting choice, I think, for this kind of production because she has name recognition and will draw a large crowd. And they've also started engaging in short-term contracts for celebrities playing featured roles in the production. Cameron Dallas has been included in the production. He was there for a limited run, I believe 4 weeks, playing one of the featured roles. And he's famous for his presence on Vine and on YouTube. He's also been in some films. But for a show that relies so heavily on its social media presence, to include someone like him in the cast makes a lot of sense. And thinking about the longevity of the show, the production has recouped. The show is out on tour. Box office numbers are still really strong. If you look before the coronavirus started influencing the box office numbers for theaters, and especially before the shutdown of Broadway a couple days ago, Broadway grosses for Mean Girls were still relatively high. Their average price is still above $100. They're still drawing relatively large crowds. And in terms of potential challenges that the show will face or could face in the future, I think if you're going to exclude COVID-19 from the conversation around potential challenges. Right now, it's late winter, so there's a slump in tourism. They lost a lot of the original Broadway cast, and debuts of new shows that are going to be coming out around Tony nomination season could be drawing away crowds. Company, Girl from the North Country, Jagged Little Pill, all these musicals have garnered a lot of press attention. Having all these new shows come into the theatrical landscape is going to present challenges to any of the shows that are currently open. But Mean Girls has remained a facet of the Broadway musical world for the last 2 years. Steadily draws in box office numbers and sells tickets very regularly. And I anticipate that the show will continue to be as successful as it has been because of the reputation it's garnered for itself and because of the skill the marketing team has shown in its ability to sell the show.